Webhooks, what are they? Should you be using them? And how do you set them up? Hello everybody, I'm Rose Power. I'm Developer Community Manager, and I wanted to encourage you today to integrate webhooks into your streaming cloud workflows. If you're not familiar, webhooks are notifications that are sent to you when an event takes place in streaming cloud. What sort of events? Well, you may receive an alert that a transcoder has started. You might receive a notification that a recording has finished uploading. Normally, in order to get that sort of information, you would have to repeatedly poll the REST API to get an update. That takes a lot of time. It requires a lot of bandwidth. So to save time and save resources, you could easily set up webhooks where Streaming Cloud will push a notification to you the instant an event takes place. So that's what they are. That's why you would want to use them. Let me go ahead and show you now just how simple it is to set up in Streaming Cloud. So once you're logged in, you would just go over to your name or avatar section here at the top, click on the drop-down arrow, go ahead and click on Account Settings. Over in the left, click on Integrations, click on Webhook Enable. Now, even though you just clicked on Webhook Enable, that was just launching this page. Please make sure that you click this little box right here. Next, you're going to see that it's asking you for your webhook URL. What is that? This is a webhook listener. It is where Streaming Cloud is going to send the notifications to. That means you're not going to receive these events and notifications right here within Streaming Cloud. It's going to go to this other location. For this tutorial, I would recommend that you test this out using webhook.site. It's incredibly simple to set up and see how this whole thing works. So let me show you. What you can do is just go ahead to webhook.site, open that website. You don't need to create an account here just for testing. But right away on the homepage, you'll see that they provide you with a unique URL. You want to copy that, go back over to Streaming Cloud, and that is what you're going to enter here for the webhook URL. The next area here is going to ask you if you want to enable basic authentication. You don't have to, but if your server or your architecture requires authentication for webhook notifications, that's fine. You can go ahead and check that, and you can read our documentation that I'll link to below to see how you can set that up and make sure your webhook endpoint is also set up for authentication. All right, but for now we'll skip that to keep it simple. As you scroll down the page here, you'll see that now you have options as far as what types of alerts and notifications do you want to receive. Some examples include for the transcoder, has it started, has it stopped, is the video coming in? For recording, you may want to find out if it's completed successfully, if it failed, which is a really great point for you to think about why webhooks are so valuable. It's wonderful to get a notification that the stream has successfully started. It's great when you find out the recording worked perfectly, but it's also incredibly helpful for you to find out right away that maybe a transcoder didn't start. Maybe the recording failed. It allows you to go and troubleshoot a little bit deeper into what took place, rather than, again, you having to poll the API and wait to get that sort of information. It's a nice system for you to get a heads up of what happened and what didn't happen. So once you select what sort of notifications you would like to receive, just go to the top here and make sure you hit save, or nothing will be configured the way you want to. You'll see a little green check mark here next to webhook. And then what I wanted to show you is I've already set up a test stream in here. Webhooks test, I have called it. So I am going to start this stream, and then what I'd like to show you is over on the webhook.site homepage, you'll start to see these notifications coming through. And by the way, Wowza Streaming Cloud sends webhook data through a post request, and the response will be in JSON format. So if you look over here in the left pane, you'll see it's waiting for the first request. Once I start the stream, in cloud, we should start to see some webhook notifications coming through in webhook.site. So what's happening right now is the transcoder is firing up in streaming cloud, and it usually takes 30 seconds or less. Great. I had set up a WebRTC test stream, so I'm going to quickly launch my WebRTC publish page and head back over and open our WebRTC playback page. All right, so that is working the way I wanted to. Let me jump over now to webhook.site. And do you see over here what's happening? Some webhook notifications are coming through already. So if I click on the first one, let's take a look at what sort of webhook notification you will receive. This down here is the response, and this is called the webhook payload. It's also referred to as the envelope, and it contains envelope keys with a specific value after each key. So this is let me know the event that has taken place is the audio has started. It tells me the time. It tells me that the object type is the transcoder. The object ID, just so you know, is the transcoder ID. If we click on another example of a notification, it let me know the video started. It gives me some information on the codec, on the profile. Another alert that has come through that the transcoder start completed successfully. And let's see if this last one here, the start requested. So this just enables me as far as knowing that everything is working so far that I want it to. And again, if I got a stop transcoder event or the video is not working, it gives me a heads up so I can quickly dive in and troubleshoot and see what's happening. You will notice down here in the response, reference null, reference ID null. If you're wondering what that is, we have functionality in Wowza Streaming Cloud for you to come up with a specific name for the transcoder. See here, it's just a series of characters for the object ID, which is the transcoder ID. So say if you have several applications and several transcoders, it could get a little confusing. You may want to have a more specific name, you know, like Joe Smith stream or Memorial Hospital stream or something like that. It allows you to come up with a little bit more specific name. It's helpful for your records. That is it. That is how you use webhooks. It's incredibly popular. A lot of people use them. It's easily integrated with just about any application out there. I would highly encourage you to check it out. It's really helpful when an encoder has connected. Say you've built a streaming application where you have a lot of subscribers, and when they connect their encoder, it gives you an alert that they are streaming. And it just kind of is, like I said, it's just a nice heads up so you don't have to constantly keep asking the REST API over and over, what's going on, what's the latest, give me an update. It's just a more efficient way to run your streaming workflow. So I hope that you found that helpful. If you have any questions at all, feel free to pop over to Wowza forums and ask me a question, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. Thanks, that's it for now. Have a good one.